So we were so excited for the next phase of our adventure, which was actually getting certified and learning to sail a catamaran. So as you can see from the video, it is not winter any longer, and I'm filming this a bit late. I got a little bit behind on filming, so now it's actually June, like summertime, so you can see what my backyard looks like in Minnesota in the summer. But anyway, I'm kind of going back in time to January when we booked a trip with Blue Water Sailing School out of Fort Lauderdale, and booked a week with a captain to learn how to sail a catamaran and get our sailing certification. So this episode focuses on that process and how we went about learning to sail for a week, taking all of these exams and getting certified so that we could take one more step in our journey to buy and sail our own catamaran. After we checked into the hotel, we walked down to the dock where our training boat was located. Here it is. It is a 2003 37-foot Island Spirit. We were excited to see the boat, but also surprised that it looked pretty rustic. After that, we decided to burn some time and take a walk at a state park that was nearby. And so here is Chris walking toward the park. Here it is. It's Hugh Taylor Birch State Park. Was a nice place to walk around and get some exercise. You'll see Chris wearing shorts and a t-shirt here. This was like basically the end of this, because when we came down to Florida, we knew the weather forecast. And it was scheduled to be like historic lows, which was not ideal for our training trip. But we knew what we were getting into, so we brought a lot of warm clothes, but you will see that we were wearing winter hats, winter coats, like all of our warmest things. It ended up during the week on the boat being like in the 30s. In January, early February in Florida, that, it is the winter there, but it's not ever that cold. So needless to say, we kind of froze our butts off a little bit, but at this point in the trip, it was still nice and warm. So we were enjoying it while it lasted. Yikes, here is a screenshot of the weather forecast. Here is a short tour of the Island Spirit 37 we were on. The name of the boat was A Boat Time. This is right when we were getting there, moving in. That's why you see like my backpack and Chris's backpack and some luggage. Those people are the other couple that was training on the boat with us. And this is a little out of order. So at this point in the trip, we hadn't actually moved the boat yet, but I put this clip in because it gives a little bit more touring information about the boat. So don't pay attention to where the boat's located with this beautiful sunset. We'll kind of come back to that in a little bit. But here we are in the cockpit of the boat. You'll see I don't know that I showed it, but the helm station is up to the right. Here we are moving into the salon. That look was at the starboard side of the boat. This is the galley. Our berth or cabin was here in the port side. We were port aft. First we're looking at the head here. This is a pretty basic head. It has a sink and a wet head and a manual pump on the actual toilet or head. This is our cabin. It is the port aft cabin. There's our bed, and then there's a small closet for our things. And then the other couple was in the other cabin on this pontoon or this side of the boat, and Captain Jack was in the other side. Here is Captain Jack explaining some of the navigation stuff, so I will stop talking so we can hear his voice.
The only place that we measure distance, so if you read this, what does this say here, this line?
25 degrees, 40 minutes.
It's 25 degrees, 40 minutes north, right? What does this say?
26.
Okay, and you also told me last night very quickly that there were 60 minutes in every degree. How far is it from here to there?
20 minutes.
20 minutes or 20 nautical miles, right? So remember, so every one of these is a nautical mile, 1 minute of latitude. We only measure distance on the latitude scale. On the third test, you're going to be given a little chart. I'm going to give you a little tutorial. My big interest in showing you this is, of course,
Next up, we actually got off the dock in Fort Lauderdale and started heading south. So this is the intercoastal waterway right here, and so you're getting some footage of us driving the boat out toward the ocean, actually. And so we learned all about how to radio to the people running the lift bridges to request permission to pass under. And so there was a lot of learning there. Keep in mind that the sails are still furled. We're just using the engines to get out. There was no sailing happening yet, but just learning the rules of the ICW and getting ourselves navigated out from where we started and out into the coastal waters just along the coast of southeast Florida. So that's what you're seeing here. This is a first bridge that we passed under, and then there is going to be a second bridge that we pass under. And then after that, you will not see any footage any longer until we actually got down to Miami. And that is because once we got out into the open water, I got sick. So the waves were pretty rough. There was a lot of wind. We were not actually sailing still at this point. We were just motoring, but it was just way too rolly for my stomach to handle. And so I was not feeling my best self and ended up spending some time just kind of trying to survive the passage, and did not do any filming. I was not in any kind of mood for that. So here we are going under the second bridge, and then you will eventually see the city of Miami, and I will narrate again once we get to that point. Coming in through Government Cut and heading toward Miami. with a goal of getting into Biscayne Bay. So Biscayne Bay is a great place to learn to sail. It's more protected than the open ocean, and it's where we did most of our learning for the entire week. So here's a couple of still shots of us coming into Miami. I'm feeling a lot better, as you can tell by that picture. And finally it was time to hoist the main. So here's Chris working the main halyard to get the main up. On this boat, the winch for the main is actually on the mast. On our boat, it will be back at the helm station. So it was good to learn on this manual winch, but ours will be an electric winch. It will be a lot simpler, and you won't need to be up near the front of the boat in order to hoist the main. But here's Chris doing a good job of getting that mainsail up, and we will be sailing in just a moment after he gets that main all the way up. Here is Chris sailing the boat in Biscayne Bay. Kind of thought that he was just sailing it, but it sounds like the engines are on, so maybe we're motor sailing. I can't remember, but we are in beautiful Biscayne Bay. There's a couple of still shots coming up of Chris driving the boat, and then the two of us, with me obviously feeling a lot better in this this picture right here. And then we were about to get to Boca Chica. So here we are in Boca Chica Key, which is a lovely place to practice docking, and that's where we spent quite a bit of time the next day. So we slept overnight here, tied to the cleats right here in Boca Chica. I don't know if this is just a little inlet or a harbor or what you call it, but here is our boat. It was beautiful. We had a beautiful sunset. Captain Jack cooked us some swordfish steaks for dinner, and we had a decent night's sleep here, even though it started to get really cold overnight in this area. But it was certainly a beautiful place to be, and we were grateful to be here. What you're seeing here is a short little snippet of what ended up being many hours of all four of us learning how to dock the boat, going both directions, coming in and out, how to tie off, all the things. I just got Chris at the helm, but we all had our turn, and we feel confident with using the two twin engines to maneuver the boat and get it tied up. Here's a little footage of us pulling into the mooring field at Coconut Grove Sailing Club. Captain Jack got us a place to tie up, and we got to get off the boat and have dinner in the sailing club, and it was kind of a lovely change of pace after being on the boat for a few days straight. We spent the night at the Coconut Grove Sailing Club and then started to mosey our way back north toward Fort Lauderdale, where we started our journey a week before. So here we are heading back toward downtown Miami, and did a lot more practicing with the mainsail and the jib. We are approaching a bridge here. I don't think we have the sail up at this point, just to kind of get to motor sail through these close quarters, but we had plenty of clearance to get our mast underneath this giant interstate bridge that's up ahead. So we traveled our way up toward the north end of Miami, and we ended up anchoring overnight there and got some beautiful city views. in a gorgeous anchorage spot that we hope we can come back to someday in the future when we have our own boat. After we got out of Government Cut, we headed northbound back toward Fort Lauderdale. You can see the weather was less than ideal. It was about a 4-hour sail north to get back into the ICW and get back to the slip where we started. Other than the rain and the bad weather, the waves were no problem at all. I felt fine, and we made it back safely, and with a lot of knowledge, we passed all 4 of our tests, and so we are certified catamaran sailors now.
At that distance to the waypoint. We still got a little ways. But...